There are places in this world where time seems to stand still, where the wind speaks in forgotten voices, and the crashing waves carry stories long lost to the depths. Places where silence is a presence of its own, thick, oppressive, and unrelenting. On a remote island, shrouded in mist and battered by endless storms, a lone lighthouse once stood as the only beacon of hope for those who braved the merciless seas. Its light, a fragile thread tethering sailors to safety. But one night, the light went out, and the keeper of that light vanished. This is the unsolved mystery of the missing lighthouse keeper. Rising out of a tempestuous sea, the island was as harsh and unforgiving as the waters that surrounded it. Isolated by miles of open ocean, battered by icy winds, and accessible only by a treacherous boat ride when the weather allowed it. Few dared venture here willingly. Fewer still chose to remain. Atop its jagged cliffs stood a lighthouse, an ancient, weather-beaten structure known to generations of sailors as both savior and sentinel. Its beacon cut through the darkness, a slender blade of light guiding ships away from the treacherous reefs that had claimed countless souls. The keeper of this light was a solitary man, a fixture on the island. For years, his was the only human presence in this lonely, wind-whipped world. But isolation wears away at even the strongest of minds. And in this place, silence wasn't peace. It was a prelude to something sinister. The final days of the lighthouse keeper were, by all accounts, unremarkable. Regular logbook entries chronicled the weather, clear skies, fog, storm front approaching, routine maintenance checks, sightings of passing vessels. But it was the last entry that would haunt investigators. Storm approaching, light steady, all well, and then nothing. For days, no further messages, no flicker of light from the tower. Concerned, a nearby fishing vessel sent a party ashore to investigate. What they found was unsettling. The lighthouse stood silent, its door swinging on rusted hinges. Inside, the keeper's belongings remained untouched. A kettle half filled with cold water, a book laid open, and an oil lamp still faintly warm. But no sign of the man himself. No footprints leading away. No evidence of struggle. No letters. No witnesses. It was as if the keeper had simply ceased to exist. The initial search turned up little. The tower's narrow stairs spiraled upward in eerie silence, dust undisturbed. The bed was unmade. The keeper's oilskin coat and boots remained by the door, untouched. Outside, the island showed no signs of recent activity. No boats had landed. No visitors braved the storm. Yet strange details whispered of something amiss. A single chair, appended near the window. A lantern found extinguished beside the rocky edge of the cliff. And then there were the stories. Accounts from lighthouse keepers past spoke of figures glimpsed in the fog. Shadows moving against the grain of the storm. Whispers carried by the wind. One keeper before him had once abandoned his post, found weeks later wandering the shoreline, raving about voices from the sea. Were these mere tales born from isolation, or something darker lurking beneath the surface? The theories surrounding the disappearance varied wildly, each more unsettling than the last. Some believed the keeper fell victim to a tragic accident, a misstep on the rain-slicked rocks, claimed by the merciless waves. Others suspected foul play, a murder committed by unseen hands, or a desperate act of self-erasure by a man driven to madness by loneliness. There were even whispers of something supernatural. Local legend told of shipwrecked spirits, lost sailors doomed to roam the shorelines, luring the living to their doom. The keeper's sudden vanishing became yet another chapter in the island's growing folklore. But no theory could explain the most chilling detail. On the morning of the disappearance, a passing vessel reported seeing the lighthouse beacon shining brightly. Hours later, when the search party arrived, the oil reservoir was empty. The lamp had not been refueled in days. And yet, the light had burned. Time moved on, but the island never escaped its haunted reputation. The lighthouse was eventually automated, its keepers replaced by machines. The last keeper's name etched onto a plaque that grew weathered and cracked with each passing year. Locals spoke in hushed tones of strange lights and ghostly figures that still walked the island on stormy nights. Explorers reported hearing disembodied voices on the wind, calling names, reciting fragments of old sea shanties. Even today, few dare set foot there after dark. The mystery of the missing keeper remains officially unsolved. No body was ever recovered. No evidence discovered. Only questions. What happened on that stormy night? Did isolation claim a mind? Did nature claim a life? Or did something else, something older than memory, something born of wind and wave, reach out from the deep? The lighthouse stands still, its light automated, its stones scarred by time. But beneath the relentless crash of waves, the island holds its secrets. And in the darkness between flashes of light, perhaps the missing keeper watches still. Some mysteries are never meant to be solved. They linger in the corners of forgotten places, in the sigh of ocean mist, in the cold embrace of isolation. And in these silent, lonely places, the past still whispers, if you dare to listen. Thank you for joining us on this journey into darkness. Until next time, keep your eyes on the shore, and beware the empty lighthouse.